Well, here we go for yet another one. Another one. Here we go. All right. National divorce apparently is the new big phrase. I'm sorry I'm a little bit sleepy, but I feel I wanted to get some clout. I put up some TikTok videos that I found that were pretty funny, that were somewhat engaging. Maybe I'll gain some clout from it. But anywho, I think national divorce is a bad term. That would imply that this country sees itself as a family, which it doesn't. This country sees itself more as I'm trying to think carefully what you would say it as, but sorry for the dead air. It's basically just it's just a place. It's just like a giant workplace, basically, the United States. You can have friends at work, absolutely, but to think that we're all family or whatever, and to see this as a divorce is ridiculous. There was a ridiculous tweet. Let me see here. It is pretty ridiculous from an alleged communist here. But let me see here. What the hell was it? I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just very, very moralistic, very pulling at the heartstrings. It's a shit phrase. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, okay. The Civil War showed the Union is willing to do whatever. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So this is from someone who calls himself in their bio suspected communist. I am begging national divorce people, consider what happens to the children in a normal divorce. America is yours. You are hers. And if you want to see her divided, you are forsaking your home. God, just the moralism, the virtue signaling. Yeah. Such is the way. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. As long as one person is listening, that's good enough for me. It's all right. But this is the tweet. I mean, I'm begging for national divorce. It's such bad messaging, isn't it? To be like, oh yeah, well, national divorce. I didn't even think this phrase was a real thing. I genuinely didn't. I didn't think this was a real. I mean, I saw some old boomer conservative retweet it, but I didn't think this was an actual thing. And then when I found out that it was a real thing, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I mean, we just called it balkanization and leave it at that. Call it secession, call it whatever you want. But this idea of like national divorce, no. It's the same thing with like defund the police. It's like, come on. How's it going, American dissident? How are you? But apparently, I mean, it's just such a silly phrase, this whole national divorce business. I saw some NRX person kind of bring this up earlier today. Sorry, I'm getting real sleepy. But the NRX person, take it with a grain of salt, pretty much gave a lot of the similar takes that I did. I'm doing pretty well. I'm just very sleepy. I'm going to try to go to sleep pretty soon. My body has been waking me up earlier than normal. I usually get up right at 7 o'clock, maybe a little bit earlier, but my body's been awake since like 4 a.m. or something like that. It's very, oof. But anywho, this phrase national divorce sets a lot of things off already. It gives the idea that the United States is a family. It gives this idea where, we're all America's children. It's like, no. Like I said, whatever this country promised us, they're not going to give us. those dreams, those promises. I mean, if we want to look at this from more of a, if we want to look at this from like an SJW perspective, it's like the 40 acres and a mule for black folks. That's never going to happen. The idea of, caring about all the people and having a basic standard of living, it's not going to happen. It just isn't. Unless you sell your soul. That's the only way that you can get a great standard of living ultimately, is if you create some sort of buzz and you are willing to sell your soul. That's the only way. I mean, if we really want to look at this from like a truther sort of standpoint, the only way is to make yourself into this big thing and then you sell out, whether it's someone like an Ariana Grande, whether it's a Taylor Swift, whether it's a whomever, and to sell yourself out, But this idea of a national divorce is ridiculous. I think that there's a lot of very bad discourse going around. I think that a lot of people, there's a lot of lashing out. There's a lot of gnashing of teeth right now. I've talked about this for months. The sort of gnashing of teeth, this destruction of friendships online, all this other stuff. There's a lot of that stuff going on. A lot of folks I think are just kind of accept it, At least that's my opinion anyway. A lot of upset. Well, a lot of folks are just defeatists at this point, though. And I think that, unironically, I think that there is a move by people like Caleb Maupin and people like Haas Infrared to try to create a better image. That's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to create a better image of what their revolution will be. That's my opinion anyway. They're trying to create a better idea of things and to say, we don't promote. Oh, not much. How about you? Just kind of vibing. Just a short little stream, but yeah. There's a lot of the hell was I going with this? I'm sorry, I already forgot. But basically, there's a lot of folk. There's this idea of not promoting violence amongst the Caleb Maupin, the different crowd, to say that they're going to try to appeal to normies. They're going to try to appeal to this sort of American patriotism to a point, and that they're trying to step away from this whole decolonization, all this sort of extremist sort of belief. They're trying to do that, but it's not going well, in my opinion. I mean, that's my take, yeah. I'm just trying to verify here. I'm just going to double check on something here. I'm sorry for the dead air. I think that there's a lot of this, people are trying to regroup. And I think there are a lot of folks who are just kind of stuck in this mode. For me, I sit somewhere in between where it's like I realize that balkanization or some sort of national divorce simply is not possible. It simply isn't possible at this point. Things are just going to continue to get worse. People can try to appeal and they can get their little victories. There are plenty of Democrats who think that way. There are plenty of progressives who think this way. Well, we're pushing Kirsten Sinema. We got her in a bathroom and all this sort of thing. We bullied her. We mocked her. It's just like, okay, I mean, all right. Does that translate into real change? Or is this merely just trolling somebody? It's like, if that's your goal, then okay. But don't try to fool people. Don't try to lie to people and be like, oh, well, this is what it's about. There's a lot of that going around. I'm sorry for the dead air, folks. I really am. I'm very sleepy. I shouldn't be doing this, but I figure I'd make my comments on it. I think that it's ridiculous for folks to still be talking about these issues. I'm going to see where this all goes. But I feel that...
Sorry, he's wanting out. Do you want to let him in or do you want me to wait?
I will let him in.
Hey, don't make it easy. Stand right.
All right, hold on, folks.
Why didn't I keep it down?
But yeah, I feel that this is just the way, these political things go. People come, people go. Movements are here one day and they go away the next. We're just going to wait and see what the next movement is. That's all, or movements are. Where is a new right wing going to go? Obviously the whole TRS and the whole, that sort of thing is, I think, pretty much put by the wayside. Hold on. That's been pushed away. I think so. In that way, a lot of those folks been kicked out. So now more of a lighter sort of far right movement may come about, right? Now the left is going to be excising their demons, and they're in the midst of that right now. I think Antifa is going to be continued to be maligned, and I think that eventually the larger left in the United States will continue to malign Antifa. Some Antifa, I'm sure, will turn on the rest, and these other folks will be unmasked and they will be arrested and they will be taken out, because ultimately Antifa is at least the current form of Antifa, the various groups across the United States, they're a leftover of the fear of Trump. Now, of course, this could come back with, like a potential Trump election or, run in 2024. But I think that many people have been turned off by it. And I think enough people, depending on what the media says and what Fox News and Newsmax say, I think many folks have felt burned. The January 6th protesters have been maligned. Many, of these older folks, these veterans and everything else, they've been shown the boot. They now see the power of the federal government and how strong it is. And this whole gimmick of debate me broism will be left in the dustbin of irrelevancy. Oh yeah. No, I agree. I do agree with that. Infrared, I think, is boring, in my opinion. I think that now he's just made the smarter shift to not, meet up with people like Jason Unruh. I think it was just pitiful. It was very they went back and forth on so many bullshit issues of what do you mean by that? And then, what do you mean? There was a lot of that. Like, well, what do you really mean by this? What do you mean by, the Native Americans or this and that, right? And then at the end, they spurred out talking about the Sino-Soviet split. It was such an embarrassing conversation. But I listened to it because I was bored, so I was like, what the hell? But yeah, I agree. I think the whole debate bro stuff, I think that Vosh and those types are stepping away from that because they realize that you can only create so much of an audience with that. There are only so many goobers that are willing to talk to you, I mean, this whole, internet blood sports stuff that happened, like maybe, I don't know, maybe 2015 earlier? That's dying out, that was kind of like the whole Jerry Springer sort of era. Like I can't think of the other shows, but it's kind of like that, yeah. But then got boring real quick. Oh, I agree. It's a shtick. It's a shtick that he did. And it does get boring rather quickly. It really does. I don't know where else to go with this, to be honest with you. But I think that there's only so far you can go. And I think that there has to be a time when people are just willing to be like, yeah, this isn't going to go where you think it's going to go, But like I said, let me go back to my original, or back to what I was saying. The left is excising their beliefs. The left in general, and I say this generally speaking, are really pushing for, Facebook to be controlled by the government. They're waiting for more government regulation. I mean, the thing is, look, nobody goes on Facebook anyway, other than boomers and all that. Now, of course, they'll talk about, the Rohingya getting taken out by Buddhists because, it was elevated by Facebook. It's like, okay. The thing is that, with propaganda, it doesn't, you can go back to other forms. Social media is simply the newest form, and it's something that everybody has. But change that to something else, whichever. I mean, to me, it's silly to be like, well, let's limit this place. Let's limit, but let's limit Facebook. And it's like, nobody really goes there, though. Who goes on Facebook? For anybody under the age of 30, who goes there? No, people don't do that. They go on, WhatsApp, which ironically is still owned by Facebook, or Instagram, possibly another Facebook controlled thing. Twitter, no, they really don't go there. TikTok is obviously the place, and of course TikTok. I think that American TikTok. I'm not sure about the details. Anyway, you have to think about, where do people go now? And to me, this is, people go to chat rooms, they'll go on Discord or whatever, right? It's silly to focus on, oh my gosh, this whistleblower came out. And of course, now more information has come out where this whistleblower is very much controlled opposition. And this person is. They're controlled opposition. We see more counter-revolutions, especially coming from, the more mainstream left, that show that they're trying to put down any genuine opposition. So, I mean, whether you want to say it about vaccine mandates, whether you want to talk about, allowing migrants in that you probably, that, they will probably never see. whichever other details whichever other issues you want to talk about, whether it's this infrastructure bill that's probably not going to go anywhere, or whatever. These are things that, in general, we see not much is going to change with that. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's my take on it anyway. But all we can do is just kind of wait and see. I mean, I hate to say that. I mean, maybe I've been saying that a lot, but all you can do is just realize, like, this is where we're going. And can we adapt to these changing dynamics? And that's a real question, isn't it? Can we adapt to these changing dynamics, or will we simply be controlled by something else, right? Or are we going to allow ourselves to just kind of fall into this sort of issue? I mean, this sort of, what the hell am I saying? I'm sorry. I'm just saying words that don't even make sense anymore. But I feel like this is where we are today. This is where we are. And we can't really, nobody really wants to address these real issues in a realistic way because they don't have that power. But yeah, what am I doing anymore? What am I doing? What am I saying? It's just, we'll just have to see where we can go. A lot of this stuff that exists today just, it's kind of an old type of thing. I mean, Richard Spencer, I don't think has a realistic idea of where we're going. And I think that, yeah, people can get caught up in that stuff, but I think they'll just find them tired. At least that's my opinion anyway. Oh, I don't know. Where am I going with this? Should I just wrap this up? I think I will. I think I'll just wrap this up. Yeah. What's going on is there's a phrase called national divorce, and it's very badly framed. It kind of speaks to the idea that America is like a family. It's like, no, it really isn't. America is like working at a place that you dislike, but you get good TV, I guess, and you can watch whatever channel you want on your break. I think that's what America is. America is just a lousy place that you work, and you have lousy coworkers, and other than the fact that you get to do pretty much what you want on your time off, and you have all the channels you could ever watch. There's not that much else going for it, is there? I mean, that's pretty much it. I just slipped into schizoism, didn't I? I completely went into schizophrenia. But yeah, basically, but yeah. Anywho, yeah, that's where I stand. And apparently, this Kyle Rittenhouse case is going on. Should we finish up? Let's finish up talking about that. Why not? Let's go ahead and finish up on this whole issue with the If you leave home to join a counter protest, organize a Facebook brand AK-47 across state lines and shoot into a crowd, killing 2 people, that's not self-defense. Yeah. The thing is with the Kyle Rittenhouse case is he's going to be using it as an example. But I think for the most part, boomers won't know. It'll only be for political people. Only political folks who are online, on like Twitter, will care. You just came here? Yeah. I'm just ranting and raving. But basically, it's this idea of national divorce. National divorce is a bad phrase. That's basically what it is. I'm kind of going off that. I'm kind of riffing off of other issues, but yeah. You do have a shitty job with shit pay and long hours. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree, but that is America. That is America. So I don't have, like I say, I'm a product of the United States in many ways, obviously. But I think, as most Americans, I think, especially below the age of 40, many Americans are like, well, this country, it's just kind of meh. They don't really have strong feelings either way. Obviously, there are plenty of outliers, but I think in general, there are many people that don't know, that don't care about what America stands for and don't really know what it is anymore. And that's my take on it anyway. Many people don't know or don't understand what it means because the ideas of it are gone. We're going to save American institutions. No, American institutions are. I mean, what do you mean by that? American institutions. Like I say, both the left and the right uses, broadly speaking, liberals and conservatives, or Democrats, Republicans, whichever term. But it's like, what does that mean to save American, institutions? What? The post office? I mean, the post office is still there. But the thing is, though, they have limitations placed on it. So yeah, while the post office will deliver everywhere, Amazon could easily become that as well. I don't even say that as a positive thing. I just say it as that's the reality of it. So I mean, you're fighting a losing battle. I mean, have you been to a post office recently? I mean, it's just meh. I don't know. But when people talk about institutions and they talk about, this idea of a national divorce or whatever, you say to yourself, nah, I don't really believe you when you say those types of things. The hell am I saying? What am I saying at this point? I just just sleepy. Just kind of deciding where to go with things. Is there anything I'd like to say? I think I should just wrap it up. I'm sorry. I know that these are more the ravings of a lunatic. I realize that to a point. This is what this stream is right now. Maybe I can, make something better tomorrow. But there's a lot of this stuff going on, and there's no real resistance to it. But yeah, I think that's all I got. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that, or at least kind of got some enjoyment out of it for about half an hour. So anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed that. I know I apologize to George Washington, who's like, what's going on? I just came in here. What the hell are you talking about? I don't blame you. I really don't, because, you're just trying to follow these schizo rantings of me, and you're just like, bruh, what are you doing? So I don't blame you. I don't. I don't blame you for feeling that way. I feel the same way. But I covered up better because I don't care. I think, you know. Uh, but yeah, I think that's all I got. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this, or at least got some sort of, I'm more than enough for schizo rants. Well, I appreciate that, yeah. But was enjoyable? Okay, well, I appreciate that. It's okay. Like I say, you can tell me whether it's like, bro, please make some, please come up with some points that make sense. But yeah, let's just wait until tomorrow and let's see if I can come up with some better stuff. So anyway, I'll leave it there, but hopefully y'all enjoyed this or at least got some sort of, I'm repeating myself. I'm just going to end it here. So see you later. Bye-bye.